Hey guys, my name's Dan Chanoff. I'm the creator of Intelligent Wrestling Talk on Facebook, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of How Dan Would Book. It's where I take the upcoming pay-per-view and show you how I would book it. It may not be the way it all goes down, but it's what I feel would be best going forward. For this one, I'm booking one of WWE's Big Four, Survivor Series. The first match of the night is going to be for the Cruiserweight Championship, with Kalisto taking on the Brian Kendrick. Now, with the first two matches on the card that have a stipulation of whoever wins, the belt will go on the brand that particular wrestler is on. Most of the time, that means that stipulation will be part of the outcome of the match, and this one will be no exception. This also means that the entire Cruiserweight division would move to SmackDown. Since the Cruiserweight division has kind of been floundering on Raw, it needs to move to SmackDown where I believe it can be resurrected. You have Mauro Ranallo, who can go back to calling, which he did in the CWC. Also, the fact that the new show on the WWE Network that is dedicated to the Cruiserweight division airs on Tuesday, the same night as SmackDown. It'll also rectify the mistake of not making Kalisto part of the Cruiserweight division to begin with. And you can also have fun backstage segments involving real-life friends Daniel Bryan and Brian Kendrick. In a perfect world, I would get them to stop changing up the ropes so they can actually be a part of the show. I know they were going forward with trying to set it apart, but it's been nothing more than a sideshow because of it. The next match and final title match of the night will be for the Intercontinental Championship, with Sami Zayn taking on The Miz. Now, as I said, for the Cruiserweight Championship, whoever wins this match, the title will go to whichever brand they are on. What I would do, and I know a lot of other people have been talking about it, been wanting the same thing, make some sort of announcement during the show. You can have Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan come out and say it. That way it'll get a bigger reaction from the crowd. That whoever wins the most Survivor Series matches gets to draft one wrestler from the other brand. With that being said, I would have Sami Zayn take this match. Everyone knows how good he is, and being drafted to SmackDown, he can really stand out there like he should, and he can feud with guys like The Miz or even Baron Corbin. The next match and first Survivor Series match will be between the tag teams. For Team Raw, you will have The New Day, Sheamus and Cesaro, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and the Shining Stars taking on Team SmackDown's Heath Slater and Rhino, the Usos, the Hype Bros, American Alpha, and Breezango. Now this one I would have going to Team SmackDown. They have been really playing up the fact that the teams on Raw have not been able to get along, and I think it would be good to use that. Have certain teams get eliminated because they were distracted by others, or even because they end up fighting amongst themselves. For the sole survivors, I would give it to American Alpha, as they are clearly the best team on the roster and they should be rewarded for it. This would also be a good one-up for SmackDown brand going forward, and would also get a great reaction from the crowd. For the next Survivor Series elimination match will be between the women. For Team Raw, you have Charlotte, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks taking on Team SmackDown's Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi. With SmackDown taking the first one, it doesn't make much sense for them to take the second one, with the third one not mattering so much because they already took the first two. I'd have Nia dominate for a bit, so when she finally gets eliminated, it becomes a pretty big deal. I would then have Charlotte be the sole survivor over Becky, but not in the way that's clean. Have Dana Brooke somehow giving her the assist so that the next night she can brag about how she led her team to victory and get more heat from the fans and her teammates because of it. Honestly, she doesn't need it, but she's damn good at getting it, so why stop a good thing? Now for the last Survivor Series elimination match of the night is going to be between the men. With Team Raw, you have Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins take on Team SmackDown's AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon. Now with it being tied one apiece between the two brands, and with that draft pick in place, this makes the match mean so much more than it originally did before the pay-per-view started. Now this is probably the hardest one for me to book because you have a lot of different outcomes that make sense. But sometimes stuff that makes sense aren't exactly for the best. There is the outcome to where Raw wins, with Rollins and Reigns being the sole survivors. The reason why it could work is because it's easily a mark-out moment for the fans. And also this could finally be the thing that helps get Reigns over. But the reason it won't is because I think it's too much too soon for them. We already saw them on Raw kind of looking back at each other, and the last Raw before Survivor Series we saw that powerbomb that they used while they were in the Shield. As awesome as it would be to see, and it would be, I think it's way too soon and they need to hold off on it for a little while. Now, Raw winning in general would allow for Stephanie to be a bigger pain to listen to every week with her going on and on about it. But that could be something that could push the fans away from watching this show. Since it's no secret that SmackDown has been the more enjoyable show to watch minus Otunga's commentary, I think that needs to be rewarded. You can have Ellsworth accidentally get Ambrose and Styles eliminated, but who would be the sole survivor? None other than Shane McMahon. What better way to lead than leadership by example? Of course, what this would mean is how I would already have booked it. SmackDown gets a draft pick, and they would get the new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, so they don't have to worry about losing that title. The final match of the night, in the main event, Brock Lesnar taking on Goldberg. Now this one is a bit more difficult to book. You have a guy like Goldberg who hasn't wrestled in a long time, so you really don't know what you're going to get. I've been reading around online about people's different predictions, and I've been seeing a lot of people thinking that Brock will go over for various reasons. There was one theory that I saw that I really liked and I haven't been able to get away from, and it makes so much sense that I'm going to be going with it. Since they have advertised this as being Goldberg's last match, and he's clearly the underdog, I would have Goldberg go over. Of course, not in the normal way a babyface would go over. I would have Shane come out, distract Brock Lesnar, Goldberg hits the spear, jackhammer, then the 1, 2, 3. The reason for this is that Shane had the encounter with Lesnar back at SummerSlam, and they haven't really said much about it since then. And what better time to capitalize on it than now? This would eventually set up a match at Mania next year with Shane and Lesnar. Now you might be rolling your eyes at that, but honestly, with the way Shane sells his moves and knowing the type of matches he's capable of having, it would be worthy of a WrestleMania match. Anyway, that is how I would book it. If you agree, give me a like. If not, how would you book it differently? Share and subscribe for more videos in the future. I do have plans for making top 10 lists as voted upon within our Facebook group. Speaking of that, if you aren't a part of Intelligent Wrestling Talk and consider yourself an Intelligent Wrestling fan, head on over and join us. We have threads for every week for Raw and SmackDown and of course each pay-per-view. We have monthly polls to crown our cover star, along with those top 10s I already told you about. The link will be in the description below. And with that being said, I'd like for you all to remember that there's only one way to talk wrestling, and that's intelligently.